Welcome back to SportsLine here on News Channel 5 Plus. Jon Burton, great to have you with us on the eve of March Madness NCAA tournament for both the men and the women. An exciting time, and we're excited to have the former Lady Vol great Brittany Jackson with us here in studio. Friend of show, you've been on our show before. It's been too long. We were talking about this before we came on the air. It's been too long.
I know.
You reached out to me a couple weeks ago.
Come on, Jon, I'm ready to come back.
You know what? You made my day. You did. I forget what I was doing, and I was like, whoa, hey!
Yeah, I love it. It's always fun.
Yeah, it is a fun time of year. All right, let's talk women's hoops. Lady Vols this year, they're a 3 seed. You kind of feel like maybe they got gypped as well. They're a team that really,
4 seed.
4 seed, excuse me.
Yeah.
They're a team that really started off hot. Should have been a 3 is what you're saying. Okay. I'm getting them mixed up with the men. They started off great. Obviously, they had some injuries, some inconsistent play. You know, how much of that, if you're a Lady Vol fan, should you be concerned about going into NCAA tournament play?
You know, it's tough. It's tough when you got, I mean, you know, when you're leading scores with Horston goes down, you know, elbow, never easy. But they got 2 players out right now that would be helping them. So, you know, it's hard and it's tough. But again, it happens. That's part of the game. But, you know, it's like I said, I give Kelly so much credit. It's, you know, I always said with Holly, I said I would never want that job, you know, after Pat Summitt. You can't, it's such.
You don't want to be the one to follow the one.
Like, you don't. And Holly deserved it more than anybody. I mean, you know.
She did a great job.
She did. And it's just so, you know, Coach Harper is doing an amazing job. I love her intensity. I was sitting right behind the bench, you know, when they were playing. And it's just, you know, she's been there. I loved watching her play as a.
I remember her when she was a player. She was a terrific player.
She coaches just like she played. I mean, it really. Like, they're just that fiery, like, always hustle. Like, I love it. So you can tell, I can tell the girls, you know, really feed off of that. And so, but this is, you know, this is it. It doesn't matter. You can't make excuses. It doesn't matter. We got some hurt on the sideline. You got to go out. You're going to have a target on your back. And that's what I think it's been tough over the years. Some of the teams, you know, you don't realize that because, well, heck, I mean, when Pat Summitt was coaching and when I played, they were probably in diapers. So, you know, they don't remember. And, you know, they really didn't. You know, that tradition, that Lady Vols tradition. So I think, you know, we're getting back there. I'm excited. I think it was a great season, and you know, tough to see them, you know, some of our players go down, but I see us, you know, going back to the Final Four. I said it last year, and I'm going to say it this year. I just think that Kelly puts a fire under their butt. And
Kelly Harper, the head coach, of course, and former player at UT. A lot of people say, Brittany, that when they watch her coach on the sidelines, they see a lot of Pat in her. Do you? You
know, I do. And me and my fiance were talking about so many players. I mean, he didn't know Kyra Elsie, who I said she played for Pat Summitt. You know, we were there watching her win. I loved, you know, congratulations to her for winning the. You know, she is just a tremendous coach, person. She was a player that I grew up watching. So I was excited even to see her. You know, but you see those players, those coaches that played for Pat Summitt, like you see so much in them. Kara Lawson, I literally every speech, I watch it. I show some of the kids that I work with. I show just, you know, kids that are playing ball that I just know, and I'm like, this is Pat Summitt. I mean, it reminds me so much of just the stuff that she has instilled and the discipline and the, you know, just the things that she's instilled. But like, I mean, what Kara's doing at Duke, I mean, it's just amazing to watch. But yes, when I watch Kelly, I see so much of Pat, just all of her players. It is so fun to watch because you see Pat inside of them.
And like you said, I mean, and Holly Warlick, I thought, did a great job.
Yes.
You know, I mean, that's a tough situation to take over that program after that legend in Pat Summitt. And, you know, Kelly Harper's come in and done a great job. Now, listen, I know you probably don't like to talk glowingly about a rival, but how about the job Shay Ralph has done at Vanderbilt in her first year? Shay Ralph obviously had a great career, had a lot of injuries, but she was a great player at UConn, worked with Gino for a long time, she was an assistant coach in Pittsburgh when I worked there for a little while under Agnes Baronato. And, you know, she's got the pedigree. She's got the chops. She was born to do this. And the good thing about Vanderbilt, and I know, like I said, I know you don't necessarily want to talk glowingly about Vanderbilt. They're a rival. But this team got better as the year went along, and Shay Ralph is doing a nice job making the program hers, wouldn't you say?
100%. We saw her. I was at the Vandy men's game last night, and I said, she's going to turn this program around. She's going to get it back to where it was. Because, again, I look at Kelly Harper, and they were a lot alike. I mean, very fiery, very intense, just a great player. I'll never forget, my dad takes me up to watch the Tennessee-UConn game. It's 9:30, 10 o'clock. Only thing open is McDonald's on the Strip in Knoxville, and they're in there. UConn's in there, and I mean, I just went and got her autograph. I mean, I loved watching her. I mean, you know, I'm a bleed. You know, there's no question I bleed orange, but I love, you know, good basketball, and I respect Shay Ralph. I think she's going to do a tremendous job. My best friend, one of my best friends, Ashley Early, who played here, is her assistant. So, you know, they have a great coaching staff. They did a great job this year, and I really see Vandy coming, you know, going really far because they've got the right people in the right place.
And you want to see that Tennessee-Vanderbilt rivalry get heated up again, right?
I mean, it was fun. I mean, I loved it. Like, there was nothing like it. I mean, I remember whenever we won. I remember when we got beat and we couldn't talk the whole way home on the bus. You know, it's just fun, though. Like, you know, and I had, but Ashley Early, one of my best friends to this day, played for Vandy. You know, we played AAU together growing up, but it's just, you're friends. You're not friends on the court, but you're friends off the court. So, you know, I love, you know, I always still support, you know, just good basketball.
You mentioned the Vandy men. They beat Belmont last night in the opening round of the NIT. What a fun game that was. I'm kicking myself that I didn't go. Yeah. Because I was flipping last night because I was watching that game. I was watching the Vanderbilt baseball team. I was watching the Predators.
Yeah, it was crazy out there.
Take on the Penguins, the team that I used to cover when I worked in Pittsburgh. But that game was just fun. Belmont gets out to the hot lead, and you know, Jordan Wright was able to pick up for Scottie Pippen Jr., who had a tough game, and you know, you got to admire the job that Stack has done at Vanderbilt because there was a little bit of heat on him coming into this season, and you know, they get some SEC wins now. They're through to the second round of the NIT. You know, very successful season for the men as well. Yeah, no, it was a fun game. That's what I said. I was like, you know, last second just made a decision to go. We actually had a kid on Belmont from Cleveland. And then also knew a kid that played on Vanderbilt. So it was a fun game. You know, Belmont led the whole first half really, and then Vanderbilt just picked it up. And we're sitting, it's funny, I said, Aiden, see that guy right there? He's sitting right in front of us, Scottie Pippen. Who's that? I said, yeah. Guess what? You know, LeBron James and all these guys that you know, that's who I grew up watching, you know? So it was a fun game to go to, and I think, you know, Stackhouse, he's, you know, was a tremendous player, and I think he's a tremendous coach and is doing a good job, and it's a fun game to go to. I just, when I see Jerry Stackhouse, I just think about that reverse dunk he had for North Carolina against Duke. You remember that? We went baseline and he just yoked it, and now he's the coach here at Vanderbilt, and he looks like he could still play, right? Oh, I know. I said he does. He looks in shape, just as he was. So yeah, that was neat. It was neat watching him coach. One of the things that I noticed when I moved here, going on 10 years ago, if you can believe it, is just how quality the college basketball here is in this area. Obviously, you have the two Power 5 schools that we pay attention to, Tennessee and Vanderbilt, but the mid-major programs like Belmont, Lipscomb a couple years ago, Casey Alexander had them in the championship game of the NIT. I underestimated the quality of basketball, not only in the Nashville area, but here in the state of Tennessee. I mean, it's big time. No, listen, I'm from Tennessee, and I did. I mean, even when, you know, Reggie said, do you want to go watch? And I'm like, Belmont, they're not, and he's like, man, there are, I mean, and I was so impressed. I mean, you know, you just think of just, you know, Vanderbilt, but no, like Belmont, Lipscomb, I caught a lot of the Lipscomb girls games and would watch some of the men, and it's just, it's great. I mean, there's some good basketball around here, and Nashville is just, I'm telling you, I love it. I tell everybody, everybody's moving here. It's really, with sports, it's just such a great atmosphere, the Titans and the Predators. I still have not made it to a game yet, John. That's your responsibility. I will get you to a Predators game. I've heard that it's just amazing. So, but it is. You will absolutely love it. So don't worry. I will get you to a Predators game. Okay, I'm going to hold you to it. Rest assured, done deal. Awesome. All right. So now listen, the women's tournament. You say you got the Lady Vols going to the Final Four. Yes. I think that would be fantastic. But the usual suspects, right? It's South Carolina. Who
But you know what? UConn, would you ever think a number 2 seed?
No.
Like, you know,
No.
I mean, it's things, anything can happen. I mean, like you
What about
mentioned
Kentucky,
earlier,
the run they made in the SEC women's tournament?
if they wouldn't have made that run, I mean, they're on the bubble of not even getting in the tournament. So, I mean, it's, you never know. And that's the thing about women's. Like I said, when I played, it was, you pretty much could bet all your coins on who's going to be in the Final Four.
Right.
And now you can't.
Right.
And so I think it's awesome. I think it's fun. I think it's, you know, so much parity in the women's game. And, but, you know, yeah, I'm sticking with my team. We expect to be there. And that's something that, you know, we've always expected. But, yeah, you have, I mean, you know, NC State, Coach Moore, listen, he was at UTC.
Yeah. And,
I mean, he is one of my favorite coaches. I love him as a person. I love him. And he is doing a tremendous job at NC State. So it's, you know, we'll see. It's up in the air. I mean, it's anybody's ball game.
Players to watch in the tournament. We just saw them, you know, go at it in the SEC Women's Championship game. Obviously, Ryan Howard for Kentucky and Aaliyah Boston
you know,
for South Carolina.
A Cleveland Bradley High School.
Oh,
my
course,
high school.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. She's representing out there.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
yeah.
The individual players, not just the teams. There's some really great individual players to watch in this tournament, right?
The girl, I'm drawing a blank. The girl from Iowa. I mean, I didn't watch like into the season. Somebody tell you know this girl, she's the best player in the country. I'm like, at Iowa.
Oh, she's amazing.
Unbelievable. Like, yeah.
Hitting step back threes like Steph Curry and shrugging her shoulders.
She's the best player in the country. I was like, oh, come on. Like, she's not better than Ryan. She's not better than. I'm telling you, she's tough.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, have you ever seen a female player with that kind of range before?
Right, no. I mean, she reminds me of Breonna Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's fun. It's exciting. And it's, I mean, for these young girls, too, that just, there's so much, you know, they look up to all these different girls and all these different, I mean, used to you just say, who's your favorite team? Tennessee, UConn. Now it's, you know, Iowa, it's South Carolina.
Right.
It's everything. And so I think it's great. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun 3 weeks of NCAA tournament action on both the men's and the women's side. And for those of you joining us late, you may notice that Brittany Jackson brought us some gifts here to SportsLine. We're going to talk about that and some of the stuff that she's been into since her playing days ended. Stay with us here on SportsLine. Another break, and we're coming back right after this.